everyone, it's the author Marisa Williams. I wrote this book, Eerily Easy English, and today we're going to continue on with colons. Before I said if semicolons are thought of as having an S for separation, colons I want you to think of as more information. It's kind of like a period on top of a period, so it's like boop, boop, more information. So telling time is the most common ways that we see colons. If we look at a digital clock, it separates the hours from the minutes. And what are we doing with that? Hours, specifically, boop, boop, this many minutes, right? So more information. So let's look at how that looks. Bonnie and Clyde were killed at 9:15 a.m. on May 23rd, 1934. Notice when we have 9:15 a.m., 9 and 15, again, separated by that colon there, okay? Colons are used to show more information. So this is the last verse of the poem that Bonnie wrote to her mother. Boop, boop, colon, more information. What's following? The actual poem, which is this. Someday they'll go down together and they'll bury them side by side. To a few it'll be grief, to the law a relief, but it's the death for Bonnie and Clyde. All right, so colons may be used to clarify a point with more information. So let's look at this. Both Bonnie and Clyde walked with a limp. Boop, boop, more information. That's that colon right there. Now let's see what that more information is. Clyde had a couple toes axed off, and Bonnie was in an accident where battery acids ate some of the flesh of her leg down to the bone. Doesn't sound fun, does it? All right. Bonnie and Clyde were set up by a fellow gang member who they thought to be family-oriented. Bloop, bloop. Who? More information. Hamilton Melvin. In fact, they were on their way to pick him up from his father's house when the couple was ambushed. Hamilton squealed to the cops and returned for his own pardon. All right. Colons may also be used to set off a quote. So, one of the last letters written by Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow was written by Clyde but was penned by Bonnie to their former friend and gang member, Raymond Hamilton, one of the 5 people that Bonnie and Clyde helped free from Eastham Prison Farm during a raid, which said, boop, boop, I should have killed you. Again, so we're setting off that quote right there with the colon. And what did he say? Boop, boop, I should have killed you, right? All right, colons can also be used to signify a list. So when Bonnie and Clyde were killed, the following was in their car. Colon, boop, boop, what specifically? Coins, Clyde's saxophone, and Bonnie's half-eaten sandwich. All right, a capital letter generally does not follow a word or phrase introduced by a colon unless it's a full sentence. But let's give an example. Bonnie and Clyde had kidnapped Diller Darby after he tried to recover his stolen car from them. Tickled to find out his job was an undertaker, Bonnie asked him to take care of the gang's needs in the future before Clyde released him and gave him $5 for his troubles. Indeed, Darby would live up to his word. Boop, boop. More information? He would be their undertaker. Along with C.B. Bailey, though they found there were so many bullet holes in the couple, it was difficult to keep the embalming fluid in them. All right, next one. Avoid a colon after a verb or preposition that would normally not require additional punctuation. So let's look at this one. Clyde communicated with his mother using a Coke bottle thrown out of his moving car. So I don't really need it in that particular setting, right? But let's see how I could have used the colon in that one. So I could have said something like, Clyde used a non-traditional item for communicating with his mother. Boop, boop. Now specifically I'm going to say a Coke bottle thrown from his moving car with a message or directions on where they could meet up later. All right, a colon can be used when addressing a formal letter, while a comma may be used for more informal letters. So if I'm going to go formal, I might say, Dear Constable Smith of the Parole Board, boop, boop, with that colon, what follows? My whole letter, right? If I'm doing casual, I might say something like, Dear Mom, blah, 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 right? Colons are also used for ratios and Bible quotes. So if I say mix added 2 specifically to 1 ratio, right? And if I'm talking about a Bible quote, I might see something like John 3, which would be the 3rd paragraph and the 16th line in that paragraph. So specifically, 3rd paragraph, boop, boop, specifically 16th line, right? So a lot of different ways that colons are used. Again, think of semicolons for separations. That's like that period on top of a comma, right? So that separates 2 full sentences, stuff like that. Whereas colons show more information. Mix out of 2, boop, boop, specifically to 1 ratio, right? All right, guys, hope that clarifies colons for you. We will have more coming from Eerily Easy English. Have a good one, and thanks for joining us.